Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, today I am sneaking in this part 3 of the crafting session to do the inside covers. I am hurrying, so we're gonna do the inside covers as quickly as possible because I don't have a ton of time. So I just want to catch you guys up a little bit. Since the second part, also, by the way, I'm sorry about the afternoon sun, although it's kind of pretty. So hopefully it doesn't distract you too much. Since we did part 2, I varnished this. I also cleaned up these edges because when I looked at it, this was really bothering me. It wasn't right, wasn't straight. And then I lined this inner spine with fabric, and the reason why I did this off camera is because I had to make this as like flat as possible, and then I had to dry it like this so that it could be just like as seamless as possible. So we are going to deal with the front and back covers. I have some papers here that we can look at. And I really want to do something interactive for the covers. I got these guys out. I thought it'd be fun if we did, you know, a little open close type situation. I did that with the Bell journal and I really liked it. So first thing I need to do is pick out paper for the inner covers. And since I'm probably going to do a couple of layers, I have to consider more than one pattern. So these are the ones that I pulled to consider, and I just want to kind of view them as a whole. Again, I'm kind of leaning into the forest theme here. This might be a good just background because I am going to put a paper on top of it, so we'll think about that. This is from the Once Upon a Time paper pack, and I do like this a lot. I think the colors definitely make sense. So we could do something that like maybe like a window where we open the door and reveal this castle. That could be fun. This is, you know, a pretty jewel color, and I think it would work. Maybe. See, this can be the hard part. Let's see. I have this, which is, again, really pretty muted colors, and I think would work with the cover. And then my last option is this guy, which I think I can fit this whole window in here. So that could be cool. Or I could cut that out and put this castle behind it. But then I wouldn't be able to match the front and back covers. Does that matter to me? This is... So what I would do if I did that is I would use this for the back cover because I think that would be the most cohesive. I'll probably actually do like this and cut these off. Let's do that. Let's go for it. Let's just go for it. So how am I going to do this? Okay. We'll worry about the back cover later. How about that? This is going to be the more... intricate part. So the first thing I need to do is cut this out. What I'm gonna do is use my paper trimmer to puncture this. I'm gonna start at the straight edge. Make sure you can see me. Gosh, I really wish this glare wasn't happening, but what can I do? Okay. So I'm going to puncture, there's a little blade here. I'm going to puncture this right where we start getting a straightaway. And then that line, you know, is the end point. So, and then what we can do is line this with acetate. To kind of concentrate. Oop, see? Okay, so now we have that. I'm going to fussy cut the rest of this as best I can. I do have a Sizzix machine that I can do die cuts, but I don't have one that's this big. Okay, so good. Let's look at the size of that. Let's just take a look at what we're dealing with here. That'll be really cool. Obviously, I'll work that. So this will have to be on a hinge, and I'll need to cover this with something. Okay, so right now what I need to do is frame this exactly how I want it. Oh, how am I gonna do this? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a pencil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm lining up this castle within here. And then I'm going to reveal. I just want a little bit of an edge on either side. I'm gonna lower this. And do the same. And then I'm gonna cut these papers down, and they're gonna be easier to work with. And I'm gonna do them at the same time. So let's reframe that. Okay, I'm lining this up. Ooh, sometimes cutting can be nerve-wracking. And then we're gonna keep a hold of it and cut on this side. Okay, then we're gonna keep these scraps because we'll probably use them for ephemera. Now we need to see how much to take off up here and down here. So we want this to be pretty well centered. So I'm gonna say here, and trying to line it up with this fabric down here. So let's cut this down. This is gonna be fun. This will be a fun inside cover. There it is. Okay. So this is good. We have a little bit more over here so that we can bend this guy. And there's a little space for that little clasp to hook on. Or do I want to do a hinge? So maybe we use, no, this is a clasp as well, but it's a lot smaller. So let's see if this might work. It's a lot smaller, so I think it could. If we have just enough space to glue that. I think it could still work. Right? There's just enough space. I think we do it. Okay. First of all, let's back this with something. Let's just take care of that. We could back it with this paper, although it's a little shy. It is a little too small. This could be fun. That scroll. Kind of feel like maybe this red would work because it's more muted, like the colors that we have going on. So let me cut this out. So how are you guys? I know I'm a little bit spastic today. The reason why is because we are packing up and leaving town tomorrow. We're going to the East Coast to my sister's for Thanksgiving. But I have, you know, an hour or so where the laundry's going, I can't pack. You know, there's not much I can do at this moment. I just really am itching to finish this cover, inside cover. So let's match these guys up. Perfect. And then we'll glue this down. I got myself a fresh bottle of my 3-in-1. So we're cooking with gas here today. And then we need to gild. This is not exactly like perfect, you know, perfectly rounded. But sometimes when you use some gilding, it will blur those imperfections just a tiny bit. I'm gonna trim this right up so that it's perfect. As close as I can get to perfect, really. Okay, good. Let's gild this. I'm so happy to hear your guys' feedback on the first and second installments of the making of this journal. I really, really appreciate you guys being here, and I don't know, it's just fun to be doing this kind of as a group. So I also want to gild this inner part. And then I think I will put maybe a piece of acetate so that it's like you're looking through a window. And I could even put, I have some like preserved greenery that I could maybe stick in here. That could be fun. Let's find some acetate. I think it'd be cool to add a little bit of this to the inside of here, just to give it a little something, I don't know, extra. Let's take these pieces off. I just think that would kind of give it a cool foresty type look. I'm gonna layer these. And then if we put the acetate over it, it'll be really cool. I think that would be cool. Lower these a little bit. So let me cut this piece. So if I was able to, I would actually sew these pieces together, but my sewing machine and I have a very it's a tricky relationship. It's not stable. It's difficult. So right now my sewing machine is mad at me. Basically, I'll be going along, I'll be doing fine. I won't have any kind of tension problems. If you guys sew, you know what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, I won't change anything, but I will just start having a lot of tension problems, and I'll sort of try to readjust and do everything I know to do, and I just literally have to leave it alone for a little while so I don't get too frustrated, and then I come back to it when I'm feeling more patient. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna clamp this down so that it dries with a seal, and all that glue is gonna be covered up by this guy. That's why I felt comfortable gluing it right on there. These little clips come in handy so much for me while I'm crafting. I don't know, do you guys use them? Just to dry things like perfectly in place where you want them. And next, we are gonna deal with hinging this. So there's two ways we could go about that. We could hinge it on the outside or hinge it on the inside. I kind of think that the outside would be cool because it almost looks like a door. But I need something small enough that I can use to hinge that. I have these whale tail tags. I think I can make them work. Because I like the shape of them. I think that they make sense. It looks like a door to me. So I'm gonna quickly give this just a quick gild. And then we're gonna fold it where we want it, which is actually gonna be slightly off center to where the middle of this is. But it'll be okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is glue the side pieces down, one end of these. I'm gonna get it as close to this edge as I can. Okay. Now we need to give that a minute to dry, and then we will fold it and attach it to the other side. So let's take this away. And I can see that I need to trim this piece of acetate on this side. It wasn't quite perfect fit. Okay. Just want to see how this might look. So many bits and bobs around here. So without disturbing this too much, we can kind of see. Don't love that. Don't love that, but what can we do? Can we cover it with something? Well, there's always glitter. There's always glitter. We can kind of frame this with glitter inside of there, or glitter around the edges, and that way it'll kind of blend and peek through. Makes it more magical anyway, right? We'll let that dry. Okay, so let me kind of start to indicate where that's going to bend. And I'll fold that back. And then we're going to glue it down. This is so cool. I love this idea. I think this is going to look awesome. So, one thing I might want to do is add something to pull here. Maybe a little tiny piece of fabric or something like that. I think would be really pretty. So let's add an eyelet. I have my We Are Memory Keepers. I don't know what this thing is called. Some sort of a chomper. And I'm going to eyeball it like I do. And I tend to have to do 3 sort of close in proximity punches to get one of these sides through. And then we will add this. And squeeze. And then we have a little eyelet there. And we can add something pretty to allow you to pull. Maybe just like a small piece of textile. Look into my trims. I think this would make the most sense, but it's a little thick, and I think it might interfere with actually the opening and closing. We could do, ooh, let's do that. Let's do gold. I love this trim. And what I'll do is I will, let me think about this. Normally I stick it through and then I weave this through. I really hope you can see what I'm doing. This is one of the funnest parts of making it, the inside cover interactive elements. So I'm pulling that through, and then that will create sort of a pull. And I will also tie it. Ooh, I think that's so pretty. It's not quite as bulky as that, that cord. Okay, I'm gonna actually lay this all the way flat so that that other side can get used to bending. And I think I wanna do a pocket in here. So it's always nice to do a fabric pocket. Let us see what we have. Just do like a little guy like that. Or gold. Ooh, I think that's pretty. So I could do a narrow pocket here, but I would just have to glue on this instead of here so it doesn't seep through, because I can't sew right now. Or I could use a piece of this, attach it to here, and then glue that on, which would probably work. So let us cut this out. I don't want that blue. I'm going to cut that off. And then we will cut the bottom. That will work really well for a pocket. So let's glue this down. It's going to cover that a little bit, but that's okay because that thing's not going to come in and out, that pull. I'm going to have to clip this down to get it to do it though. And then we can attach this in a minute when it is, actually I could probably attach it now because I'm only going to cover, I'm only gluing the pieces that have thick amount of embroidery, because that way we won't have visible glue, but it's, you know, it's enough to hold it. And I like this because it has mirrors, so it's definitely magical. I'm just gonna tuck that in like that. Oop. Yes, pretty. Okay, so now let us glue this down. I think I want to add a little bit more glitterific and just make this a little bit more intentional looking. Okay. Now, this needs to dry. Okay, so now we can add this on top. So I'm going to only glue on this side. And this needs to be glued down pretty well. So sometimes what I'll do, just to make sure it's very sticky, is let it actually dry enough before I stick it so that it becomes tacky. Kind of like eyelash glue. You know how if you just give it a minute and let it get nice and tacky, it will stick better. So we need to make sure that this is a perfect fit. It's not exactly perfect, but we can cut it down. And I think I want to round these corners just a little bit, not round, but just give them a little bit of a clipping. I think it looks nicer for the inside corners if they're rounded just a little. And you know what I'm realizing, you guys have probably been yelling at me through the thing, is I completely thought that forgot that we were gonna do this, and I did that. So there you have it, folks. Crafting with Emily. Okay, I need to let this dry. So are you guys traveling anywhere for the holiday? Are you celebrating the holiday? No, not everybody does. My sister lives in Philadelphia. And she has kids my age, or my age, the same as my kids' age. And they just love their time together. And we sort of, I don't know, spoil them a little bit, really, if I'm being honest. Cousin time is so special. And we really try to encourage them to stay close. You know, they're on FaceTime all the time and all that business. So it's good. Family's really important. So, oh my gosh, I cannot believe what a mess I am today. I cannot believe what a mess I am today. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know I'm a kind of a spastic crafter, but today I'm just like on another level. I don't know what's going on here. I'm rushed. That's why. I just, leaving these projects alone, just like, ugh, it's hard for me. Just want to craft. That's why I get these things done like fairly quickly, is because I just can't help myself. Okay. Okay, I think we can glue in this big piece. Try to place it so that you are meeting up with the fabric that's on top and bottom. And if the fabric is too wide, I would pick the top to line it up with, and then we can put something here to disguise this. You know, like trim or something pretty. We could, you know, do one of these, or actually that looks lovely. Yeah, so there's our front inside cover, and you know, we could always put some sort of text, you know, Once Upon a Time or Snow White or something like that. And then I always include things in here that kind of indicate what the journal's about as well. But I think that's super fun. So then for the back cover, I'll probably do something more simple. So I will add this. We'll add that, and then we'll add a pocket. The back cover doesn't need a ton, except for I'd like to provide an opportunity for storage, because sometimes you just want to keep like your souvenirs or whatever you have that you're going to add to the journal in the back. Or I do. That's how I journal. I put my little odds and ends in there, and then I add them like when I get a chance. So I think storage for the back piece is the #1 thing. So we could add, I like fabric pockets because I think texture is, you know, the best thing you can add. Sometimes it's fun to do vellum as well, because you can then see through it. So I'm gonna glue that down. That's lovely. Perfect. Let's get this nice and straight. Nice. Okay, so what kind of pocket could we add to this? We could add, this would need to be trimmed. And this is the sad part about my sewing machine, is I can't trim right now. Ooh, this would be pretty as a pocket. It's a little small for the space. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. trim this down. And I need to trim it here. This is where fabric shears come in handy, is when you're dealing with delicate fabrics like this. So, do I want it like that? I think that would be better because I can glue underneath this more subtly than I can glue underneath this mesh part. That is so pretty. Yay! I get these sari scraps from an Etsy shop. Well, 2 Etsy shops, I should say, on Etsy. Amore Fabrics and Love Me Blue. Both of them are so lovely to work with. And just, they're fast and they're so beautiful, and they give you just the most lovely pieces to work with. So I love adding these to the journal. This is beautiful. I love this. I mean, I would love to get a journal like this. This just is perfect. The only thing is here, I want to deal with that. And I really think that this trim was kind of perfect, right? So if we can just, yeah, yep, lovely. And then chances are, knowing me, I will add more as this kind of sets and dries, and you know, I'll add embellishments of some kind. But I think that's so cool. I really do love it. Yeah. It's like you're peeking into a fairy tale. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, I know this video was a little spastic. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope you like it. Let me know how you think this turned out down below. I think it's fun. I really like it. So I will be gone for a week, and I will catch up with you as soon as possible. I'll be back at this crafting table. I get back next Tuesday, so probably next Wednesday I will be back crafting. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.